Wow.
Let's go. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Episode
12?
12.
Dude, you almost caught me off guard, my dude. I was like, wait, what?
You blinked?
No, we just got done. We were super excited because we hit, double digits with our episodes. So we 10, 11, we're 12. We're calling basically back-to-back recording. And today, we're getting hooked up, bro. I mean, we got the VIP treatment today.
I know. Look around.
Look around, man. Like, this is insane. And for you guys that are not looking and you're just listening, we're actually in a boutique here in Goodyear, AZ. You guys just heard a little bit of a voice in the background there. And let me introduce you. And welcome you to Isaiah from Ivory House. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yep, that's me. I'm
Damn.
a co-owner, so me and my brother do it together.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Noah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we gotta include Noah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shout out Noah. Good, man. So again, thank you for joining us, bro. Beyond the Brand, episode 12. Your host Frankie P.
Angelo. And we got Isaiah. Thank you so much for being with us. For anybody that doesn't know, like he said, he's co-owner of Ivory House. If you guys don't know what Ivory House is, you probably know what Rolling Retro is. One of the biggest vintage events in Arizona right now that he started and runs, and it's every first Friday, right?
Pretty much every first Friday.
Because sometimes
it changes, but for the most part, first Fridays.
Thank you so much. I wanted to start off by basically how we met. Let's take it back a little bit. This is like COVID time, so
This is prime COVID time.
Yeah, because
actually,
I think you guys were closed down for that particular moment. And for people that are not like in the vintage world at that time, there was a lot of lives on Instagram. So people were running lives selling shirts on there because their stores were closed. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't go to markets. So a lot of people were making money off Instagram lives. So I jumped in a live.
Oh, nice.
I seen this young man.
Not knowing him.
No, I didn't know him.
Okay, gotcha.
I didn't know it's funny you say that. When I purchased it, I didn't know you were out here. Because I just seen you guys had this kind of setup and you guys were selling shirts. And I'm like, oh, this is dope. So boom, you had a smaller shirt. It was a Darth Maul Star Wars shirt. And I was like, damn, that's fire. My girl would love it because she's a Star Wars fan. So I'm like, bet.
So hold on. He's on the live.
Yeah.
He's like, check out this small Darth Maul shirt. And you're like, click it. You're like, give it to me.
I don't even think you had a vintage page yet. I think you bought it on just
This pre?
I bought it on my personal page.
Yeah.
So I'm like, boom, I'm about to give this to it wasn't my wife at the time, but my fiance.
Your girl.
About to hook her up.
Your lady.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay.
Boom, it comes in the mail. I tell my girl, she doesn't know.
How long was the wait?
It was quick. A couple days.
Same day shipping?
Yeah,
Same day shipping.
maybe next day.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so I get it in the mail. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I throw it to my girl. I say, open that up.
You didn't even open it?
No.
Okay. I mean, a little, you know what I'm saying? No, okay.
It was like
Now I remember what happened.
It was,
I thought I knew what happened, but it was something different.
Okay.
it was like a present.
Okay.
Threw it at her.
Got it, yeah.
You know, like how you get flowers? I got her a tea.
Okay, got you, okay.
So I throw it at her. Open that up. Boom. I'm excited, right? I'm like,
Are you watching her or you just walk away?
No, I'm watching it.
Okay.
She's opening it up. She pulls it out. She's like, what is this? It was girls with their asses out. It was a Budweiser shirt.
Oh, no.
Yo, what? I was like, she's confused.
Yeah.
And now I'm confused too.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I bet you turned bright red, bro.
Low key, I was like, what's going on? So I look, it was from Ivory House. So I hit him up. I'm like, yo, what happened? And this is where like our friendship started because immediately he took accountability. He's like, bro, my bad. Just bring it back. If you ever get to come in the store, I'll give you a discount. Like we'll take care of it.
Did you get the Darth Maul shirt?
No. So
You switched it up?
No, okay, so here's what happened. And I've actually never done that again since then. So I just switched the labels. I put his label on someone else's order. She got the shirt, but she liked that shirt so much better that she kept it. And I asked her, I was like, yo, can you send it back?
That's dirty.
Yeah,
Dirty.
she kept it.
That was dirty.
What's dirtier? That she kept it or that she ordered the Budweiser shirt?
No,
Nah,
those
she
shirts
kept
are popular.
Like, people like those shirts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro,
I got you.
anytime I've gotten one of those, and you'll probably say the same thing, they sell.
Yeah.
Budweiser?
So for anybody that hasn't seen it before, it's basically like a Budweiser promo, but instead of Budweiser, it says Buttweiser, and it's girls with their their butts like showing.
Just bending over.
Yeah,
And that's what your girl opened, and that's what she saw.
Yes, bro.
So then what happened?
So that
Divorce.
So in my mind, I'm like, damn, this kind of sucks. But I didn't know that it was going to create a great friendship because this shit was far, bro. I'm not going to lie. For me in Glendale, this was like a 30-minute drive. So I'm like, damn, I don't really want to go all the way over there. But my mom lives a little bit closer, like in Avondale. So I was like, maybe when I go to my mom's house, I'll stop by.
Yeah.
And through the whole process, he's like, yeah, stop by, blah, 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 blah. So I tell him, hey, I'm going to stop by. And when I come in, he's a cool guy. My girl ends up she picked up a T.I. shirt that she still has to this day. She loves T.I. So she still has that shirt to this day. So we made it up to her.
Okay.
He hooked me up. He gave me like a little discount.
Nice.
We were chopping it up for a while. And ever since then, we've been like super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you remember that one then, huh?
And
How'd you feel, bro?
I felt loud. Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of got over it, but I remember at the time I was really upset because I hate doing stuff like that.
I was upset because when because in my mind, I'm like, oh, he just switched them. And I felt like the Budweiser was probably worth more, in comparison because it was a tiny one. So I'm like, this is a no-brainer. They're going to send it back because they don't want this little-ass shirt, and then I'm going to get mine. It's going to be easy. But then he's like, hey, they're not sending that back. I'm like,
So
real?
you kept it?
The Budweiser, no, I brought it back.
Oh, okay.
Just because I wanted to establish that relationship. I didn't want there to be any weird thing about like, oh, I kept it and then I got a discount too. I was like, here, bro, I know you can sell this. Take your shirt back, and then I'll grab some stuff. We bought a few shirts that day.
That's cool.
But yeah, ever since then, Isaiah's always hooked me up, whether it be at the events when he first started doing events. My first pop-up that I ever did was your event over there at the ASC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Isaiah's always hooked me up to this day, man.
Yeah, bro.
So there was like a good thing that came out of that situation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Are you local? Like, are you from Arizona?
I'm from Arizona. I'm from this side of town too. That's why I opened specifically over here.
Okay, no, that makes sense. That's dope. So you're like in the community then, yeah.
I live right behind here.
Okay, gotcha. That's dope. Yeah.
And I do want to say, in this vintage game, there's a lot of people that run their page, but they don't run it like a business. So I've run into the same issue before, like where someone sells something, they don't ever ship it, where they mess up or whatever, and then it's just a hassle, and like you have to, maybe they'll give you a refund. It's just a whole thing. So what was really great about Isaiah from the beginning is he ran it like a real business. Like he took this serious from the beginning, and I think that is why that you guys have done so well, is because you guys haven't like ran it like, oh, like during doing people dirty,
like
or
a side hustle type shit.
Yeah.
doing like a side. No, like you could let me know, but I feel like you guys took it serious like from the day that you started.
I've always kind of had the dream of doing something like this. So when I got the opportunity to do it, I was like, I can't mess it up. I can't fuck this up. I had to just make it work. So I've always tried to do right by people, just because, I mean,
you're in the community, yeah.
Yeah. And this is the only job I've ever actually had.
Oh, really?
I've never had like a real 9-to-5.
What?
Okay. So let's dive right into that then, right? So obviously a lot of people get jobs in high school or outside of high school.
Yeah.
So like how did you kind of like start your work career?
So like, I guess technically I've had a job since I would say like 12. So at that sports center where we run our events, I got that because my mom runs basketball tournaments in there. So ever since I was little, I would be out there doing the little scoreboard and stuff.
Oh, cool.
I worked there since I was like 12. So I've always had the work ethic.
Phoenix is Rising.
Yeah, Phoenix is Rising. That's my mom.
Okay.
So I've always worked there. But she always told me, she's like, you got to do your own thing. You can't work for somebody else.
Damn, and that somebody else was her still, but she was like, you still got to do your own thing.
But she showed me how to do it.
That's fire.
So I was blessed enough to where I didn't have to work anywhere. I actually worked for a short little stint, maybe like, I'd say like a week. I worked at the Toyota dealership.
Oh, the one off the freeway?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hated that shit.
Yeah?
It was horrible.
What were you doing?
Sales.
I was the... So, like, let's say your car broke down and you got, like, a rental.
Yeah.
You would get the rental from me.
Okay. So you manned like the rental station?
Yeah, but they didn't tell me that the only reason they're coming up to get a rental is because their car is going to be over... If it was over a certain amount, like 10 grand, you're getting a free rental.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So they're coming up to me already pissed off.
Yeah.
Because they have to pay 10 grand to get their car fixed.
Gotcha.
So that shit was horrible.
That's where they started you at?
Yes.
Damn, that's messed up. You would think that that'd be like more of like a, I don't know, tenured kind of
Yeah.
person or whatever, you know? Like,
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, that or the guys that sell the used cars. Because you know the used guys, they're knocking on your window like, hey.
As soon as you roll up.
As soon
They're
as
on
you
it.
roll up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was horrible.
So
I
a
worked
week?
there for a week.
Wait, who got you in that? Who set you up with this dream job?
You just got it.
I just got it.
Yeah.
I just
Just
had a
looking-
little tiny epiphany in my life where I was like, I need to get a real job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because while I was doing that, I was just barely starting to do vintage.
Oh.
So it
okay.
kind of like went at the same time. I was doing clothes as a hobby, and then I was like, I'm gonna get a real job. Like, I need benefits. I could not do it though.
Damn, so that lasted like a week.
Yeah, maybe 5 days.
Gotcha.
Damn.
And then you were just still in the vintage game, obviously.
I was in school while I was doing that. So
Okay.
I was in community college doing that and doing vintage on the side just because I thought it was fun. And then I tried to have a real job. Couldn't do it.
Yep. And then what happened after that?
I kept going to school, and then I got kind of good at finding clothes. I found like a spot that really worked for me to where I could pick up a lot of stuff at once. And after that, it just kind of progressed more and more and more. And I was selling on the side here and there. I ended up going to GCU. So when I went to GCU, they let me sell on campus. That's what
nice.
jump-started all of this.
Oh, really?
Did you approach them with that or?
No, it's crazy. So there's this guy, his name's Dewan. Shout out to him because he put me on. I was
Dewan?
walking by. Yeah, you might know him. He's around sometimes.
Okay.
He only like collects stuff though. So he was selling at GCU, and I walked up to him. I was like, "Hey, dude, like, how do you do this? How do you sign up for this?" And he was like, "Oh, just go right here." They got me all signed up that same day. I was out there selling.
Wait, so was there multiple people? Or?
Yeah, it's like a little. So what we do now, that's also kind of where we got the idea for it.
Oh,
was
at
they would-
GCU.
Mhm.
Wow.
They would let anyone sell. So there was a dude selling like custom stickers for like water bottles and stuff. It was just anything small business.
Wow.
And I was like, dang, this is a crazy idea.
It's like a little market, like little pop-ups.
Little pop-ups, yeah.
But
and
only for the campus.
only if you were like a student.
Wow.
So yeah, so I started selling there and I was like, man, like this actually kind of works.
Yeah.
Then we got my brother into it. And that's where it really took off because I thought I was kind of good at finding like inventory. Not like him.
He was killing it.
He's a beast.
Wow.
He's
shout out
honestly
to Noah.
probably one of the best thrifters I've ever seen. Like no
Ooh.
bias or anything. He's cold.
Let's go. That's
He's good.
fire.
He
Yeah.
just got that eye or what?
He's got that eye. Well, he's got the hustle for it too.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I've never seen anyone like as good as him, to be honest.
Damn.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you were starting to sell there. Did he ever start selling with you there, or did you? Just,
So I started selling at maybe the first two by myself, and then eventually just kind of picked up. And then he kind of liked it, so I was like, "Just come." Like they won't say anything. So then he started selling with me together, and then it just went crazy from there. After that, then he got really into it, and I would say he honestly like surpassed me in the amount of stuff that he had.
Just start building your inventory.
Yeah. So
Is that your older or younger brother?
younger brother.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's 2 years younger than me.
Okay, so you guys aren't too far apart
No,
then. Yeah.
not very far apart at all.
That's cool.
I always talk about that too within our like culture, like vintage side of things. A lot of people like to frown on people that are like older and stuff like that. But like in this game, it's funny because the youth is really like important because they know what's trending and stuff. But people that are older are important too in it because they've seen so many trends, you know? So it's a weird thing where it's like, because, you know, like rap is popping with the young youth. Like that's how it works. But this game is kind of like both.
You need
You know
both
what I
a little
mean?
bit.
Yeah. Like I would say I'm more of the experience side of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it, honestly, like the clothes come second. The customer service and stuff when people are walking through the door is number one. And it's hard, especially now I found out to get like good people that have great customer service because the clothes sell themselves. It's really when they walk in, do they feel comfortable being in here? Because there's been plenty of times where I've gone into stores, no greeting, no nothing.
Right.
Like, so you need that experience up front. The clothes, obviously, people come in, they know what they want.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Because when I learned that when I started doing pop-ups, and I've worked jobs my whole life, so I learned customer service from those jobs. But I learned that doing pop-ups because people would come up, and when I start talking to them, whatever, now they're like shopping and they would grab some stuff.
Yeah.
But when I take like a break and I like sit down, just chill for a second, my like audience or like whatever you want to call it, people coming in the booth kind of dies down a little bit. But when I'm up, like greeting people like, oh yeah, what's up, bro? Like it just brings your energy, just brings people in.
Course.
And I feel like that's why I'm so tired from events, because I'm like pushing my energy out, you know?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that when you
So I feel like that still to this day.
Okay.
So we have our markets downtown. I'm out there talking to probably at least a couple hundred people a night. And I feel bad when I go home. My wife's like, how was it? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm not trying to talk right now. Like I used all my energy pushing it towards those other people that I just got to go to bed.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, it's weird because there's a lot of like younger people in the game that they'll do these events and then they're like, we're going out. Like, where do you want to go? And I'm like,
I know, right?
bro, how? Like, I have no energy like at all. But
Yeah.
I'm assuming maybe they just use less of their energy, you know, like talking to people and stuff like that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like that for a short stint, and then I'm like, nah, I can't do it. So, like, props to those people. I see people do 3 events, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's no way I could not do that.
Yeah,
and then
it's
they be going
crazy.
out in between.
Yeah,
Wild.
There's some different. There's like some rock stars.
No,
in
for
there.
sure. I want to kind of get back to like when you were building your inventory and stuff like that. Like, what made you think like, okay, now I'm ready to get a store?
That's crazy because, like, realistically, we never had enough inventory to do a store.
Okay.
We probably had, I would say, 1,000 things. Like those big tubs, those gallon ones, we probably had like 20 of them. And then I was getting ready. I used to be really into like old 80s Toyotas. I had a really nice one. And I had it sanded, ready to paint and everything. And right when I was going to paint it, which would have been like the most expensive part, I saw a for sale sign right there on that window. And I was like,
at the store? It's
at
okay,
this,
gotcha.
this location. And this was right before COVID happened. So everything was still kind of cheapish. So I was like, let's make a move on it. And I sold that car. And I regret it. Like, I wish I still had it, but it turned into this. And so when we opened the store, there was there was just these 5 racks. You see, this is all we had in the store.
Got it.
It was so small. I don't even know if I met you yet when we first opened.
I don't think so.
There was nothing. The walls were blank. These 5 racks, I had them spread out like in
Right.
each corner.
Yeah.
It was horrible in here. There was nothing. There was maybe 500 items when we
Gotcha.
first opened.
Yeah.
But it was just like a crazy coincidence that it went for sale.
Yeah.
We bought it that same week.
And so that was between you and your brother were like, let's do this together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had money put aside because like I said, I kind of always wanted to do this. I didn't know how much it was going to cost, but I did. I kind of went to school specifically to do this.
Yeah.
So I had a general idea.
Okay.
And then when I got in here, we just took it. It was a State Farm insurance, like I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
So there was nothing in here. It was just concrete, and then there was little half walls that we had to tear out, and the roof was missing a ton of stuff, like right where
wow.
we're sitting.
Which is weird. You wouldn't think that. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird, but I mean, we kind of made it work, and you can kind of see it now. Like there's missing stuff in the walls where we just kind of patched it up ourselves.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, we made it work because I love this location.
Was
Okay.
there any stores at that time that were doing it that you kind of took inspiration from, or did you just go on your own, or like how did you go about that?
I actually used to work with Edgar at Easy Thread when they were at the Glendale one, so the very first one.
Yeah.
So I worked there for a little bit, and I've always been into it, and I've known him for a long, long time. We used to play basketball together, and I always thought it was cool. So him, for sure, at the time, People's Champion, which is probably like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah,
like
off of
they're
Grand.
big inspiration too. Like I would say he's like the OG of like the vintage shops for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like there was a lot of vendors that like I was cool with, and a lot of people that I met while doing this, and they all came through and supported. So there was a lot happening when I started.
What were you doing at AZ Thread? Were you just like at the register, or?
Yeah, it was like
Okay.
like a cashier little thing.
Okay, gotcha.
And
Well,
then I
part time.
Yeah, it's part time.
Yeah.
Damn, because I'm trying to think back and because that's where I kind of like. I used to thrift when I was young too, but that was the first store I would go in. It was in Glendale, right across from the Pete's.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember if I ever seen you there, because I would go there and get cashed out all the time or trade for this. That was the coolest thing in the world, was when you could like, there was no stores where you could go in and have some shit and trade for something else. You know, like
Yeah, for
used,
sure. He was
used
for
stuff.
sure one of the first dudes doing that. Because before you would take it to like Buffalo Exchange,
Yeah.
for
Right,
$2 a shirt.
Oh
whatever.
God, they ripped. Just,
Oh no, they were like ripping people off.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your only way to get cool stuff.
Yeah.
You had to go look for it.
For sure.
There it was all curated, and you could trade it. So you could come with a stack of stuff and leave with another stack of new stuff.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that was always dope. Like I remember trading for like a used pair of shoes that I don't wear anymore and getting like a Lakers zip up jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's
like,
dope. And that's what you would do? People would bring stuff in, you'd be like, okay, let me check it out, and then
Yeah, here and there.
make a decision. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was still like, that was barely breaking the ground on this stuff. So
Got it.
people weren't really coming in for vintage. I remember when I worked in there, they would sell shirts that I sell now for like $400. They were only going for like $60.
Yeah, they always had some good prices, I remember.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and it was sick. There was a super old truck just sitting out there.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy. There was.
How long were you there for?
I would give or take a year.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was like right when they started, and then I finished going to school, so I couldn't really stay there anymore.
Yeah.
So when you guys started this store, did it? Because it was like right before COVID. Did it start booming or
2 weeks before COVID.
2 weeks? Oh my
We
god!
opened
I was
on-
thinking at least you had like a month or two to like.
Nah, we opened on the 29th. So we opened on a leap year, which is pretty cool. And yeah, 2 weeks after that, they shut
Shut
everything
it down.
down. But those first 2 weeks, insane,
It was packed.
packed.
You're selling out everything out?
Yeah, I got really scared at first. Well, so how it happened was I didn't know. I was super young, so I didn't really know how any of this is going to work. When we opened the doors on the first day, there was a line of people.
That's
I was
dope.
like, this is crazy. Like,
And was that just Instagram promotion or?
when we
word
opened
of mouth kind of thing?
Yeah, word of mouth.
Calling the homies.
And we're the only store on this side of town, so I feel like people were just kind of interested. When we
Wow,
opened the
so
store,
you
though,
had a
we only
line?
had like 500 followers, I want to say.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
So those first 2 weeks were wild.
So,
but,
and was it just you and your brother? Did you have like family jump in too, or like?
Like I said, it was really small in here. So me
Okay.
and my brother were more than enough.
Okay.
There was like just these 5 racks. Nothing on top. None of these posters. Just whatever we had found before we started. That was it.
Just to fill it up as much as you could.
So I'm guessing like you're selling stuff, but at the same time too, you got to go find source stuff.
Yes.
So I'm guessing you guys split up at that point.
So after those 2 weeks, we shut down.
Okay.
They shut this entire plaza down. So I was like, all right, let's just make the most of it. And that honestly was the biggest blessing that we were closed. That's how we grew our platforms. We were here all day. So I was like, let's post 20 things a day. That's it. If we could do that, we'll stay afloat. Because they were still charging us rent.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No breaks, right?
No breaks. No nothing.
You talk to them about it, like, hey, can you
My
guys help
landlords
out?
are from Cali, so I mean, I've seen them all of one time. I
Got
tried
it.
communicating that with them, but nah, nothing. So we were open, paying rent. I was like, we got to hustle. And that's where it started going crazy. We got really good at sitting there and researching what works and what doesn't for our social media. And I feel like that's honestly how we got so many followers. We were just grinding nonstop.
Yeah. I
doing-
was going to say that. I think he's our biggest as far as follower wise, because, you know, we don't really care about that too much, but you're at like, what, almost 50K or something like that?
We're right at, or just about
Nice.
at 50K. We'll probably be there, hopefully before our
That's
4 year.
insane,
And-
especially for
Dude.
something so niche like vintage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, and a lot of that was, you're saying, was like during COVID, it really took a boost.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Gotcha.
We had so much time because we were here and we couldn't technically be open. But if someone came up to the window and was like looking curious, we'd open the door and be like, hey,
Yeah, hell yeah,
come
why
on
not?
in.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course. We were like, come on in.
Sure, people were masks or whatever it was, so yeah.
And that was a wild time. We were taking appointments, but the appointments were so dumb because we would come and they would look and they wouldn't find anything.
Uh-huh.
So we're just chilling here for an hour doing nothing.
Gotcha.
because I do some appointments sometimes, and
Yeah.
that feels the worst because I don't want them to feel bad that they didn't buy anything. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of awkward. Like, I don't want you to buy anything if you don't want anything.
And
but
you do
like,
them at your house, don't you?
yeah,
Oh, that's even
so
more
it's-
wild.
He said that's even more
It's
wild. yeah.
worse. So I don't do it for everyone, but like I have a select few like people. Like when he had his store, he would come through and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
But you knew I was gonna buy. I knew
but-
I was gonna buy
yeah,
some, bro. I was
yeah.
walking out there with at least 10, 15. I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, damn, that's so crazy.
I was tempted to start telling people like, "Yo, it's $100. Like, give us 100 to start, and you get 100 credit, and you got to spend it."
Yeah,
Because we would be.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, like people would be like, "All right, let's go in here. Like, can we come at 12?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And then everyone started doing it, and then eventually we were just like, "All right, let's just open back up." And then we just opened back up.
Without the approval of the place, or like,
if they were going to charge us rent, I was like, we're just going to be open.
No, that makes a lot of sense, bro.
Wait. Before you guys open back up, what did you find that worked so well in that time frame? Like for people that are trying to grow, their.
I mean, it's different for everyone, but if you look at a lot of the Instagrams of like vintage stores, I wouldn't say we're the only ones, but we're one of the only ones that do it with like a personality. Like there's faces behind the store. It's not just clothes. Like you see me and Noah on there every day. And during COVID, we had so much time that we would be doing the stupidest shit in here. We would take people outside and like have like a sprint off. And if you could run faster than we could, we'd give you 10% off or whatever.
Didn't you guys have a basketball one too or something like that, or no?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We had a little basketball league in here.
Okay.
And yeah, we just used to do a bunch of stupid stuff. But we had so much time that people eventually would come in just to come hang out with us.
Okay.
They wouldn't buy anything.
Yeah.
Damn. So I feel like that kind of really took off for us.
So you were just building like a community here?
Pretty much.
But then showing that community on social media?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Because we had to find something to bring people in.
Were you guys doing any online selling during that time frame too, or no, not yet? Or
I mean, yeah, we were. We would just, you had to think about it. People had free money. They were chilling at home bored. So in the morning we would open because like nobody was coming in. And then we would post. We would just take all the crew necks, post all the crew necks, 20, 30 at a time, which is kind of like overload.
On the page or on the story?
On the story.
Okay.
And we would post. That was the other thing, too. We used to post like crazy back in the day. And if you scroll down on our page, you can see it. We would post like 3 times a day because we were so bored. We would just be like, all right, let's just blast it.
Just pushing shit out. And how were you guys getting so much inventory during that like COVID era? Because
people had nowhere else to sell.
Oh, so you already, luckily before you opened the store, you were tapped in with people that had stuff, so they kind of were like going to you specifically.
There was no markets. There were only a few stores that were open, and some of the ones that were open weren't selling anything, so they weren't taking in new stuff.
Wow.
We were blessed enough to where we were selling stuff online at a quick enough rate that people could come in, and I feel like that's really where we started thriving with people coming in, because now we get, I would say, 8 or 9 people a day come in to sell to us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you turning away a lot of people at this point? Because that's a lot. That's heavy.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to, especially if it's your first time in here. I try to take at least something from them, so that way they kind of have like a warm feeling when they leave. They're like, all right, cool, I could come back.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to make people feel like they aren't welcomed in here.
Yeah, you know what? That's cool, because I've done that with sneakers before, and you walk in and. I remember, dude, I went to one, and they're closed now, Many Worlds.
Okay.
Yeah, Many Worlds just closed. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they were in Midtown. Yeah. I brought some 5. They were the Off-White sales. Okay.
You better go there?
No, I'm just saying, bro. Like, I went in, and this is my thing, bro, with stores, is that, like, if you're going to say, yo, bring your shit, like, we're buying. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, like, then, like, it gets someone hyped up to go and be like, okay, like, I'm not saying full pop or anything like that. Like, I know most people that are in the sneaker or resale game, they know that there's a discounted buy rate.
Yeah.
But when you offer something that's so low, that's not even like, the person's even like, I don't even know, like, I don't even think you would take this, but, or, whatever it is, it's like, man, that was really rough. And then even like sometimes like they don't offer you a lot of cash, but they'll say like, hey, the trade-in value is a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And so then at that point, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I can like at least trade for something that's kind of like, cool. But
yeah,
I got the low. I got the low, bro.
I see it from your side, and then I see it from
your side as well.
Standing behind the table.
Yeah.
You see certain stuff, and then you're like, man, that's gonna be a hard sale. Like, I can't pay that much for it. And I mean, I tell people straight up. I've told him straight up when he brings stuff in, like, I'll take it, but I can't pay that much.
Yeah.
Because it's going to sit. I know it's going to sit there.
And I do the same thing, because I do a lot of buying too. And I tell people, like, I have really, really good friends in the vintage game that constantly sell me stuff. And when they get certain stuff that's really expensive, I'm like, bro, for this, I'm going to price it really low, but I know you can get way more. So go to a store, go to someone that sells this kind of stuff, because you can get that money, but not for me. Like, unfortunately, I want you to get your money though. I'm not trying to, take it from you. So go do your thing. I always tell people that all the time.
Well, it was the same way too, because I was buying off you to sell in my store. So there was some pieces where you'd be like, hey, I think this one's fire. I'm just like, I think I'm going to pass. What I mean? Yeah. So it all works out, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's dope that you at least, when someone comes in, you're giving them a good experience. I think that's kind of where I was going with this. Is like, it's not just a straight like, nah, bro, like I ain't got nothing, you know.
Because
like,
I mean, in here, I'll tell people straight up, like, yo, I don't know, they come in with a $300 tee, be like, I'll sell it for $300, but you have to understand, like, on the other side right here, there's an employee. I'm paying that person to sit here and watch the store while I'm doing this. We pay taxes on all this stuff. And then there's just the rent, the air conditioning. I don't think a lot of people see that end of it. When you walk in, everything, all the amenities you see in here, like, I'm paying for that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, no matter what it is, you're taking a risk.
Exactly.
You don't, just because it's a great shirt, it might sit on the wall for months.
Yeah,
so
you never know.
You're literally making an investment in that. So like, yeah, this is worth $300, bro. Give me, $250. But it's like, I mean,
there's no margins there at all.
Yeah, there's no margins.
Yeah. You don't know how long this is gonna sit here.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? And then maybe I have to drop the price 3 times, and now I just get back what I paid you. So
And if you break even, you're still losing.
Because it's been sitting.
It's been sitting.
For sure. I remember I used to do like some pop-ups, and some dude would walk up to me. He'd be like, how much did you pay to make this hat? Like what you paid, the hat was like, what, this? He tried to break down everything or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, but like, did you spend the time designing it?
Yeah.
Did you spend the time actually like putting it all together? Did you spend the time popping up and putting all this stuff? And he was just like, he just stayed quiet, And I'm just like, it used to bother me when people would just come at me like, why are you selling it for 30 when you bought it for 5? It's like, bro, do you not like, what are we talking about right now?
It's the time and effort.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like time, but people need to respect that time, that effort, and everything that we put into it. And I even talked to Angelo about this when he was selling his vintage for like, I mean, dude, on the low. Yeah. Like the boy was selling it for like some good prices, bro, hooking people up. And I was like, bro, I think like you could get more, man. Like this is your full-time business. And so like we talked about that in the past, but it was kind of cool.
We've talked about it, and I've said thank you like on the podcast because I talked to Frank because Frankie had a store at Arrowhead, so he's kind of seen like every aspect. So when he would get stuff from me, I would sell it to him, for like, I don't know, $7 a piece or whatever. Yeah. And he's turning around flipping that for 25, 30.
30, yeah.
So
sometimes
he's like,
50, yeah.
He's like keeping it real, like, bro, like you could get more. And I'm like, I don't know. Because I just like to run through stuff fast.
Yeah.
But I did, because we talked about it, I did have to assess my prices like, damn, I could get more for this and that. So I didn't change a lot. But do you struggle with that? Like finding the right price and...
Yeah, I'm like you though. Like I like to burn through stuff. So like this rack right here that we're sitting at, everything in here is 10 or 5.
Yeah.
So we're just burning through stuff. If we get a shirt and it's worth whatever, because that's subjective, $300, I'll put it out there for $220, and boom, it'll be gone. Like
nice.
Same day. That's how I like it. I don't like people coming in and they came in last week and it's the same stuff. 100%. I hate it, especially as a store. As a shopper, I don't like that. And then as a store owner, I want everyone to come in and see fresh stuff.
Because, if you go in this week, you don't see nothing. You go in next week and you see the same stuff. You're like, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
The next week or the next week.
There's too many other vintage stores to where you can't be sitting on inventory.
Yeah. I think that we both work like that. We try to run through stuff, and I think that kind of affects your buyout prices too. Yeah. Because you're like, yeah, maybe on eBay it's going for $300, but I'm about to put it in here for $200 so that it's gone like this week, Yeah. And I do the same thing. Like, this goes for $60, but I'm gonna put it on my rack for $40.
Oh yeah,
so someone could take it.
Yeah, and I always tell people that, like, go out, try it, do it. If you can sell for $300, that's all you did that. But if you can't, my offer will always stand. You can always bring it back,
and that's cool too. You know what I mean? At least they know where you're at, so they can kind of go out and see what they can get, and at least they have somewhere to come.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With pricing, for your guys' store, how do you go about pricing your stuff? Because I know there's a lot that goes into it, because how much you pay.
The goal is always double.
Okay.
Double what we paid for it, at least. I mean, there's times where we get like a really good deal. It's just always different. I know what we could sell well, and I know what we don't sell well. So I stray away from what we don't sell well, and I'll grab as much as I can of whatever we can move.
So what could you talk a little bit about that? Like, what do you sell good, and what do you not like to put in the store?
It switched. It used to be, and this is also why I feel like our Instagram was so popular during the COVID times was we used to only sell expensive shirts in here. When we were closed, I was selling, it sounds ridiculous, but there were shirts that would go for like $1,000 to like $2,000, and we were selling those every week.
Yeah.
We had someone coming through that was selling them to us, so we were just flipping them nonstop. As of lately, though, my sweet spot is pretty much anything that we sell from like 15 to like 45.
Yeah.
Where we sell a lot of volume. So like those hangers over there, like that's all from the weekend. So we're just moving pieces fast, as opposed to back then we used to sell really expensive stuff.
Yeah, what we call the bangers.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like a whole little separate subgenre of vintage, and that's still around. People still really like rare
like
expensive stuff.
the rap tees, the all over print, the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I've thought the same way because I've never really been into that stuff. I'm more of like the essential everyday stuff that you can rock, and that's kind of what's in right now. Is like they just want a cool shirt
Just
that
like
has
basics.
a good graphic,
Yeah,
black or white, good graphic shirt, and that's all they want to rock. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So as far as the Instagram, did you ever see like a specific time where it like, because you went from 500 to 50K, did it just, was it consistent, or was there a time where it like popped?
Right when TikTok started blowing up, there was a girl that came in here, and this is what really turned the tide. Was she came through? She didn't tell us anything. She was just in here shopping and recording, and we always tell people like, yeah, go for it, take pictures. Like this stuff is cool, and it's like nostalgic to a lot of people. So I understand when they take pictures. She wasn't saying anything though. She leaves. Within like an hour, she posted TikTok, like just saying like, oh, I went to this place. It was so cool. Like they had shirts for cool old shirts between like $15 and $30. Her video went viral. Yeah, that next day.
During COVID? This
was
COVID
like right towards the end of COVID.
Of that year.
So yeah, that same year.
Gotcha.
So like towards the end of 2020, when things started opening back up.
Gotcha. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. I've never seen a line that big for this store ever. All day. It was just, I swear I probably had at least 400 people come into the store that next day off one video that she made.
Wow. And you didn't even know her or anything, right?
No, I didn't even know her. I didn't know she was taking that. I thanked her a million times. I was like, you turned my business around. And that moment right there, it lit up a spark in not only my eyes, but my brother's. And now my brother is cold with the TikToks and the social media. That's all he does.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That's what he does for us. Is all the social media stuff that you see, like Brandon, our photographer, takes all the pictures. Noah lays it out. He does all the videos. He schedules everything to get posted. And that's why I feel like we're so successful, is that one thing inspired us so much that we got really good at it.
Damn.
That's dope.
So,
And that's, I think, very important, and I'm glad you kind of touched on that, is why you guys do so good, is because you guys are so good at pivoting.
Yeah.
Like, whatever is going on in the market, like you were selling crazy high-end tees, now that's not the market anymore. Boom, pivot to cheaper tees.
Yeah.
When we're going hard on Instagram, damn, TikTok just blew us up. Pivot to TikTok. You guys are really good at that, like, all the time. So, yeah, I think that's important.
That's the craziest part. I feel like a lot of people like underestimate that, but your social media is how people see you. It's how you notify new people of what we're doing, what we are. If you stay on top of that, you could grow exponentially really quick. I feel like a lot of people just don't focus very hard on that.
Did you guys have a TikTok like before when she came in?
No.
Okay, gotcha. So like as soon as she left, you guys, started getting, and then like that's when he was like, hey, we're starting this TikTok and kind of getting into this as well.
Yeah.
Got it.
And he does all the research on that, like, because there's little things like sounds and stuff that like take off. My bad, bro. I thought it was about to pop off. Yeah, he just got really good at researching like what works, and then kind of there's stuff like you got to stay really on trend with that stuff. So you got to be almost ahead of it.
Yeah.
So he does all that.
So to have someone more dedicated to it, it probably helps out like a lot, because it's, like I was running the store and doing social media, and that was just really like,
and it was just you, right?
Yeah, it was just me. Yeah, that was tough. Yeah.
That's where I'm very blessed that I have him, because I'm gonna be honest, I can't do any of that. That's way out of my skill set.
Gotcha.
Bring in 1,000 t-shirts and I could buy them all, but try to make a video like he makes them, I can't do it.
That's interesting that you say that, though, because you're the face. Like, did you guys ever sit down and
it's switched. He's the face now, I'd say.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah. No, we never did, but eventually he just got, because when we first started, he was really young. I think he was 19.
Okay.
So, like, he was still like a little kid when we started it, but I've seen him mature as time goes on, and slowly like I've faded out of it, and he's the face now.
Okay,
he's the
cool.
one behind all
He's
the
taking
videos.
control of the whole social media.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, if he's skilled at it, bro, like let him run with it, right?
Exactly. I would never try to take
Yeah.
his shine away from him. Like that's his thing.
Like, that's dope, man.
And
That's
he's
really dope.
good at it.
He found like his like niche within your business. I think that's so important. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's perfect for me because I want to start moving on, have a family, doing all that kind of stuff, which will take away from me being here. And that's why we've been hiring people. He's gotten a bigger role than he's had before, and I get to take a step away, and that's really what I wanted.
Damn, so it's all working out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
as that's growing, you guys are doing your thing. You did a couple markets over there on the west side in Avondale. When was the first Rollin' Retro, and like what made you guys jump into the church over there downtown?
So we started with the Avondale events, and that was December of 2020, right? That was the very first
Yeah.
one. So that was right when they let everything open back up. We have access to that gym because we rent from there so much. So we started them there. And then there was another place during COVID. It actually worked out with my mom. So that Avondale Sports Center was closed during COVID, but that church with the basketball courts was still open. So she was renting from there because the kids were allowed to play, but they had to wear masks.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy. But when she was in there renting, she was like, "Is that a roller rink?" And the lady was like, "Yeah, like you could rent it out." And then we were like, "Okay." So she told me, she's like, "Why don't you try to have a market in here? It'll be smaller than the one we do now, but there's roller skating." As crazy as it sounds, I told her no at first.
What?
You didn't see the vision with the roller skating?
You're like, it's too much going on.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, won't it take away from the shopping if people are out there skating? Like, the event's going to suck. And then everyone was like, nah, just try it. Who cares? And back then, I wasn't like how I am now. Now, if someone told me, like, yo, let's try this, I would probably do it.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I was like, no, what's working is working. Let's not change it. And eventually, they were like, just try it. Let's just do it. And I was like, all right, whatever. The very first one, we charged $1 to get in. We lost money on it.
Wow.
So we did it, and I want to say the first one was all right, but I saw it. I saw how much it could grow, and we just started blasting it. TikToks, videos, posts. We hired Brandon full-time to cover it, and I would say after the third one, we had a video on TikTok that went really crazy, like insane. I think it went over like a couple million views.
Wow.
Of like people skating, shopping, just kind of capturing.
And it was we have them scheduled, so it was the one the day before.
Perfect.
So that day of, it went all the way out. So it's on Central and Bethany. You couldn't drive on Central right there. That's how packed it was.
Wow.
people trying to park and get in.
And it was the greatest event numbers wise that we had, but it was the worst event on my end because it was a 2-hour wait to get in.
Oh my god!
You weren't expecting that.
No.
So, like, did they have enough skates? Like,
Oh, no.
I was gonna say, like, at that point, like, what happened inside, bro?
Well, you have to also understand, too, we'd never had one that big, so there was only 5 people working that event.
Okay, so how are they spread out? Like, you had people at the door.
Yeah, well, okay, at the door, we originally only had one person because it wasn't like anything crazy. You would wait 10, 15 minutes, and so we just had one person taking the tickets. We had 2 people on security, and then we had me, my mom, and my brother just roaming.
Really?
Yeah. Now, ever since that one, we bumped it up. I think we have almost 20 people on staff for that event now. So
Gotcha.
that very first one that went crazy, it just kind of, it went down obviously, but it kind of stayed at a good rate. And
Okay.
we had those dates locked in for First Friday. So people were like, let's go. It's every First Friday.
Yeah.
They didn't even
scheduled it. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can kind of like plan it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that to this day, that's like, I would say the biggest market in Arizona, besides people that come from outside, like Thrift Con or something like that.
Yeah.
I would say that has to be like, that's kind of the staple now. There's some good ones.
There's a lot of good markets now.
But that's one of the staples for sure,
Yeah.
especially because you do it consistently
Mhm.
First Friday. And it's always inside, so you don't ever have to shut down.
Exactly.
So
That's cool.
Because there's
That's
a lot of markets that are outside that we do, and so when it's off season, like when it's hot, They
Yeah.
shut that down, but yours is going through it because it's inside. I wanted to ask, this is kind of a tough question. So if you don't want to get too deep into it, we can skip it. But I think it's important to touch on because we've been hitting a lot of highlights. But with Rolling Retro, and I've talked to some people about it, because the demographic is so kid heavy, there is a lot of theft that goes on at that market.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that or like?
I'm new to that,
that.
so like, how do we know that there's a lot of theft? I'm sorry, like I haven't
So
really.
what happens is the market's busy. There's anywhere from 1,500
It's
to
insane.
2,000 people coming in and out all night. And it's hectic. It's 40 people. It's 40 vendors inside of a smaller area. So, but I know what you're saying is tough, but I mean, I would say that there's so many people. Like there could be 8 or 9 people shopping at your booth at once. So it could be hectic. People are trying to like check, like I'm trying to check out with you, but he could be over here if he really wanted to grab something off
I
your
see what
rack.
you're saying.
Yeah. And we get a lot of people that aren't necessarily into the community, like they don't understand how it works. So sometimes we'll get people that are just, they don't know. They'll pick up a hanger off his rack, a hanger off your rack, and then they'll come to the very end and be like, oh, how do I pay for all this?
I see, yeah.
Yeah, they don't go booth by booth. But yeah, that's the good and the bad of there being so many people, is there is going to be theft. I mean, when you go into Walmart, they're already ready. They know that people are going to be stealing all day long.
100%.
And we try our best. We've hired more security. We have secret shoppers now. We have a lot of stuff happening
That's cool.
to try to prevent that. But it's going to be impossible to get it down to zero.
So really, like, it's up to the vendor, right? So, like, I'm pretty sure you talk to the vendors and be like, hey, this is the situation. Like, if you have more than one person, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, so we give them 2 wristbands. Usually we tell people, like, you should have one person dedicated that's taking just the payments, and then you have one person that's almost roaming your booth, making sure nothing's getting taken. Yeah. We understand things happen, and we tell people, if you tell us as quick as possible, we could usually track it down, and we do. The only time we have problems is if he came up to me, say, an hour later and was like, yo, someone stole something from me. He looked like this, but it was an hour ago. I mean, there's 500 new people that came in, 500 people that left.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it happens at every market.
Yeah.
But it's just like you said, a lot of the markets aren't
as heavy
with the kids.
Yeah.
You know? So like if we do, I won't say the name, but a specific market like at a restaurant or something outside of a restaurant, that's going to be like an older demographic. So they understand what people do. Like these are small businesses. They're coming to support small businesses. But like with kids steal. Like even when I was young, we used to steal all the time just to do it because it's just a thing to do. And I feel like that's what happens at that event a lot. And you guys do have security, and you guys do. That's cool that you guys have people roaming around now. That
Secret shoppers is a good idea, bro.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's only so much that you can do until you just tell the vendor, like, bro, this is what it is. You know?
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, at the same time, you can't really just tell them like straight up, like, yo, it's on you.
Yeah.
That's the vendor is my customer. The kids coming in are your customer. So I got to make them happy.
For sure.
And we're doing the best we can. It's just there's so many people coming in that it's hard to manage.
Do you think that it would hurt or help if you like made some sort of like announcement on your guys' page? Or have you guys talked about that? Kind of like
we've discussed it, but I don't really know what it would do.
what it's saying. Yeah.
I feel like when there's like something controversial like that, if you talk about it, it just brings
more light to it.
Yeah, I mean, but does it change anything? You know what I mean? If a kid sees a post that's like, oh, if you steal, you can't come to our events, is that going to stop them if they really want it? Probably not.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, I could understand it from like a vendor standpoint. Like you just want it to be understood that you can't do it. So yeah, I mean, we're probably going to end up making something about it.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad you were down to talk about it because, it's as a vendor, and I have friends, that talk about it, and you see people post it on their story, and it really sucks. Like I've had people, because like if you lose like a $20 shirt or whatever, like that comes with it. Yeah. But there's people at that event that come to buy expensive shirts, so we bring out expensive
the good
shirts.
stuff. Yeah.
So when you lose like a $200 shirt, $150 shirt, that's when
the bad
it
taste
becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Because at these regular markets, if it happens all the time. You're gonna lose a $20 shirt here,
and that happens
$10
here.
shirt. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Day.
It's just when you lose like something that was like could be on the wall, you know,
Yeah.
like $300, $200 shirt. That's when it's like, oh my God, like, you know?
Yeah.
And, but yeah, that's cool that you guys got the secret shopper. So hopefully that helps
We're
out.
adding as much as we can. We're trying to throw different stuff at it to try to mitigate it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be damn near impossible to stop.
Yeah.
There's too many people coming in. And that's like the good and the bad. I feel like a lot of people love it since it's so busy. But I know there's vendors that won't necessarily sign up for our event because it is so busy that they don't
'Cause it
want to
gets
even deal with
stressful.
it. It could be stressful, yes.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Because I go back and forth. Sometimes I do Rolling Retro when I can, but I do First Friday downtown.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I feel that about First Friday downtown.
Yeah.
It gets so packed
Oh,
that
wow.
there's some months that I think about sitting out because it's so hectic.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a lot on
need
you
an
mentally,
extra
yeah.
person with you at all times because it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that. Is there so we talked a little bit about losing stuff. So is there a piece that you got rid of that you regret to this day?
Not that I regret. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't hold this stuff as close to me anymore. As time goes on, I'm not really. I wouldn't say I'm not into clothing, but it's not like as much as my hobby anymore as it used to be.
See it as business now.
Yeah, I see it as business.
Gotcha.
Wow.
It's
So a little
impo-
bit jaded to all the
It's very hard for me to own something at home that's worth like $100 when I'm like, that should be in the store for
I
sure.
could
Like
sell it,
I
yeah.
could sell it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, no, I wouldn't say there's really
Nothing
anything
you
that
regret.
like got away from me that like,
You
that you
regret.
can't
Never.
get back.
yeah, but do I want it back is
Yeah.
the thing. Like, probably
Yeah.
not. I'm kind of.
What are like some of your favorite pieces? Like obviously like you do this because you love it. Like is there some pieces where you really like just love rocking?
I love the one-off, really random pieces. So I like shirts that are like stupid faded, like where they're black but they look white,
Okay.
and then they have like big holes in them. I love things with the story. I think
Yeah.
that's why I love this so much. Is everything's individual. So everything you see on the shirt, like whether the way it fits, like if they're stretched out wide,
Yeah.
that means someone back in the day was like, "Yo, this shirt's way too tight," and they just stretched it till it wouldn't stretch anymore.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. I'm not really a fan of when things are like brand new. I like it when it's worn in,
Yeah.
and I think that's just always been a thing I've always really been into.
We talked about that when I interviewed him. I was like, the thing I love about vintage is it kind of reminds me back in the day of like trading cards, and like
Oh,
it
yeah.
had like a little bit of a story to it. You're like, oh, this is the rookie card of so and so, and this is when they hit like 30 home runs, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you tell that story along with the piece, and it just made it like so much worth. Worth more almost. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's pretty dope.
Is
too.
there a that you can remember, maybe recent or an old one, like a huge like flip that you had, like a crazy one, like or a big haul that you got? I know you got in a lot. So
That's one of the coolest things. That's what I personally like. That's what gets me going is when I see stuff like that. Perfect example, on Sunday, this dude walked in. He was like, "Hey, how much you guys pay for this stuff?" And then I kind of gave him the breakdown on it, and I was like, "Yeah, we pay like 50%, give or take, on what it is." He was like, "My dad owned a sporting boutique back in the day." And I was like, "All right, for sure." And we get that all the time since we're next to the smoke shop. We get a ton of older people that are like, "Y'all really like this stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "All right, I got some." It usually never pans out. This dude comes back and he brings all those leather jackets, and those are like
Oh, wow.
$400 or $500 leather jackets. And
Yeah, for those of you who can't see, but they're like the vintage NFL, right?
yeah, they're
those
all
the
leather. They're
Jeff
called
Hammies.
Jeff Hamilton's. Yeah,
Wow.
that's like the top
Top tier.
tier for like sporting stuff for sure.
That's
And he was
dope,
like,
dude.
"Yeah, they've just been chilling in my garage." And I mean, we gave him pretty good money. With stuff like that, I always try to overpay for them just to make that good business experience, because that dude will definitely come back.
For the first time.
Yeah.
I always do the same thing.
If
Yeah.
you treat them
That's
right
dope.
once, they'll come back forever. Because I know when that next time that dude finds a box of stuff, he's gonna think of me first.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you paid good.
Yeah, because I treated him right. I came, I didn't just buy the stuff and like, okay, get out of here. Like
Yeah.
I got the story behind it.
Yeah.
His dad owned that shop. He would get the stuff flown into it. He was in Georgia, and then he would just sell it there. And then eventually he closed the store, and then he just had all that stuff. And he's like, "I have more. I just don't know where it's at."
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You're like, please find
Those
it.
are always the crazy ones too, where
Yeah.
you're like just waiting, and then one day you get the text like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I found it," or whatever. You're like, "Oh yes."
So
Yeah.
at this point, like, do you don't, a lot of people come to you to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much are you like buying from people coming in, like, versus sourcing?
I don't source anything anymore. That's
your bro.
No, he doesn't either.
Wow,
We don't
it's
ever
all
leave
coming.
here. It's all coming into us.
That's awesome, dude.
I'll occasionally go out if I need it, but for the most part, I don't ever really leave here to get anything.
That's dope.
We
Dude.
have people coming in every day with stuff.
How long did it take to like get to that level?
I would say I would be comfortable with it this year. So
Okay.
it took 4 years to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I could for sure say like we're buying
Yeah,
and I'm gonna get 150 things that day.
got it.
I couldn't always say that before.
Yeah,
Did it? Because I'm kind of in that process right now, and we've
Yeah.
talked about it on the pod where I'm
Yeah.
balancing doing this pod, my family, sourcing, being at pop-ups, and I have a lot of good friends that supply me, but the margins are always a lot lower.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm always scared to like cut off sourcing, but it saves me so much time. So did you guys kind of run into that too, where you're like, these margins are so much lower when you're paying up for stuff?
I remember the very first time I bought something off someone, it was like the third day we were open. And I was like, there is no way we're going to stay open if I'm buying it like this.
really.
And then, yeah, because they want, well, back then, prices were a little bit different. So we were buying stuff. I'd buy it for 10 to sell it for 20.
Sure.
And I was like, man, I'm only making 10 on this. And then you got to realize over time, like your little investment kind of doubles and triples. And I don't know, the time you spend sourcing, I could way better manage being in here doing something else with it.
Even selling as well. Missing,
Selling, yeah, pricing stuff out, just being more efficient here is worth way more to me than going to find it for, I don't know, a couple bucks.
Wow,
You know what I mean?
That's a bar, yeah. Because I always think about that. Because like if you have a long sourcing day and you got a few things, but I'm all in the back of my mind. I'm like, all those hours I could have been posting on eBay.
Yep.
I could have been shooting reels for the page, like
Yeah.
story sales. Like
Yeah.
there's so many other things that you can do within those hours. So sometimes it is worth paying that to get your time.
Yeah, your time, to me, my time is probably the most important thing to me. I'm here, and as of lately, I only work 3-hour shifts here,
Nice.
that took me forever to let go of being here. But when I'm not here, I don't respond. So like sometimes you'll text and I'll see it and I'm like, I'll let them handle it.
Yeah.
So when I'm not here, I'm 100% not here. My time is everything to me. I'm out there at the house with my wife and my dogs just chilling.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm not even talking to you anymore?
No, you're not
That's
talking to me unless I'm here.
crazy.
He's like, no, you ain't even talking to me, bro.
Yeah. No,
Wait, how do you think you're talking to him? Is it through IG?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got
Through
you.
Ivory House.
Got you.
It's all automated now.
What?
It's
Yeah.
all automated.
I have like
Yeah.
20 little sayings on my phone, and it'll pretty much fill in whatever anyone's asking.
Really? Because you
Yeah.
got used to it's all the same questions.
Yeah, you get the same questions every single day, so
Yeah.
we just have it kind of
I,
automated.
I have those in IG. That's the best thing, bro.
but I have them typed. I typed them out, so it sounds like it's me talking, but it's not. You're talking to the
Did
computer.
we just give out a whole Ivory House secret? Oh,
The
my-
Lolo.
Luckily,
Yeah.
luckily I hit him on a personal.
Yeah,
Or
hit me up-
is
if
a
you-
personal?
No, the personal's mine.
He's got
Okay.
the 911
I don't
phone
have
number.
I don't have the Ivory House page on this phone.
Okay.
We got a store phone, so I'm fully away
I
from
hit
it
you
now.
this morning. I'm like, I'm gonna be there at 9:30. I didn't
No,
know if that was you or not.
That was me.
Okay.
You hit me on the personal or you text me, it'll be me.
Okay.
You hit on the store one, it's a 50-50 shot if
It's
I'm here or not.
50-50.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Damn, that's funny.
That's funny
Let-
as hell, bro.
let's
But
jump-
that's where you're at. That's pretty dope, though. You know what I mean?
That's
Let's
my
jump
biggest
into the,
accomplishment.
I know that is a big accomplishment. And yeah, we'll get back to the family stuff. Let's do the this or that real
Yeah,
quick.
let's do this.
Okay.
or that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we got a quick like fun segment. We're gonna do this or that,
Okay.
and I did it a little bit more towards vintage because that's what obviously your business, and that's
Yeah.
what I do too. So,
Okay.
the first one that we'll do is and then the criteria is whatever pops in your head. These are just gonna be plain,
Okay.
and then you whatever your criteria.
Okay.
So like single stitch or double stitch.
Double stitch, single stitch is cool, but it doesn't last,
Yeah.
and it gets messed up way too easy.
Yeah.
You could do that one. Third one.
Okay. The bins or racks?
I used to love going to the bins, but I love the bins because I used to mess around in there.
Yeah.
Back then, we would go outside and play football. We wouldn't even be looking for clothes. That's how I made so many friends.
Yeah.
And honestly, that is how I got started here because those people that I made friends with would come and sell me stuff. So that's what kind of jump started it for sure. So
Shout out to my guys at the bins. I feel the same way. You,
Those are homies?
you,
But I
you,
would-
you build like a community. You guys
I would
have lunch
I would never
together.
go back there ever again. It's probably the worst
He's so fucking
place.
done.
Probably the worst place ever. Like, look at this scar on. Like, There's random stuff in there. Have you ever been there before?
No.
Don't ever go.
Hey,
Because
say
literally,
that
we're talking about the Goodwill bins, right?
wait, say that again. Tell
If you're
them.
going, make sure you bring everything you find to Ivory House.
Do not go. Do not go.
It's too late. It's already blown up. So when you go, it's just a raw donation. So let's say you donate something to this Goodwill right here,
Yeah.
and it has like a stain on it.
Yeah.
The first shirt in the bag.
Yeah.
That whole bag's going to the bins,
Got it.
but they don't check what's in there.
Yeah.
So they'll dump it all out into a bin, and then that's how you go find it. It's just all mixed random stuff. I stuck my hand into one of them. There was a fucking kitchen knife, and I just went straight through my hand.
Bled all over the clothes.
Yeah.
I've definitely finished a rotation. So that's like when you go through them and then they start over again. I've gone through a rotation and going through stuff, and my hand's bleeding. I'm like,
Yeah.
when did I cut myself?
Because they don't go through whatever was in that bag that they donated that they didn't want.
Just
they
dump
just-
it, and they don't look through the bin before they put them out.
No.
Nah.
They
Not
don't kind of
really.
they don't kind of
They
make
just-
sure there's no knives or anything like that.
Oh no, for
syringes,
sure.
nothing.
I for sure have pulled stuff out to like help other people out because there's like old ladies and
Yeah.
stuff in there. So I for sure have seen something in there like a knife or something,
Yeah.
and I'll just put it under because I'm like, damn, someone's gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
it can
they-
happen.
I mean, they found some pretty crazy stuff in there. Since
Really?
they don't go through it, sometimes
Yeah.
people just throw wherever. I was in there one time. They found a grenade in there.
What?
Yeah, they cleared the whole place out. An old lady found it. She picked it up and looked at it, and then everyone's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And then there was a dude, and it's
How often would you go?
every day.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I
So
went
you saw a
every-
lot of shit that you go
Yeah,
every day.
and it was on 51st and Van Buren, right?
Yeah, that big old warehouse, Goodwill warehouse.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there were some tweakers that'd be coming through
Oh,
there.
you're in the hood.
Yeah,
They come in to the bins too.
Oh,
it's free
for
entry.
sure.
Yeah, no, and they would just
Yes, bro. They go get it. They go in there, put on a fit, and walk out.
Yeah, they'll just put the clothes straight on and leave. But one time, a dude in there found
I'm not
like a
lying.
pepper spray. Like it. Oh, I don't have it. I usually carry pepper spray. I haven't showed you. But he grabbed it and went like that and just sprayed the whole store like that,
Oh
and had
my
to clear it out.
God.
Crackhead.
Yeah, and then after he did it, he was just riding his bike around the outside while everyone's chilling.
Hey, as far as like zombie tweakers, bro, that area.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
Wow.
Bad.
Yeah, there's some
bro.
crazy people.
There's some
Yeah.
crazy people.
So y'all were doing some crazy stuff for a couple dollar teas.
Oh, I'll be there
No.
this week. I'll be back there this week. I'm coming.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but that's where all the crazy stuff comes from. Is there?
Really?
Yeah,
Let's say
that's where it's at for sure.
garage sales or estate sales.
Neither.
Neither.
No, I hate doing that.
I know I do too. I'm not gonna lie.
But you've
I
done
hate
it?
too.
I've done it. I
Mm-hmm.
would prefer neither. I can't do it. I can't sit there and wait around.
The patience.
And it's such a low. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, because it's one person stuff, so it was their
Yeah.
whole style. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So
I gotcha.
it's not like you could find like this kind of stuff or this kind of stuff. It's whatever they had. Like if they love the Cowboys, there could be vintage Cowboys, or there could be a bunch of fucking brand new Cowboy shirts, and you wasted your whole day sitting there for an hour.
Got it.
The last one right there. Depop
Okay.
or Grailed?
I've never sold on Grailed. I hate Grailed.
Oh, me
They be
too.
taxing on there.
Grailed is the worst. I feel like it's all the kids that just want to message weird stuff. Like they want to
they
ask
just-
weird questions.
They just want to be silly.
Yeah.
No, Depop's where it's at. I've gotten some crazy stuff on Depop.
Okay. Oh, you're saying like shopping wise.
Yeah.
Okay, so you still shop on Depop?
All the time.
Oh, dope. Okay.
Because you have to think like Depop is very kid friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes kids will find crazy stuff and they don't know what it is. So
Yeah.
they'll just put it for like $20.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, wow.
100%. Yeah, I like Depop for that and Macari for like random stuff. I found Macari.
I'm really weird. I don't like Mercari. I
like Macari.
I don't like websites where it's hard to navigate.
Okay.
So like Mercari, it's not right in your face. Like it's like little tiny descriptions
Mm-hmm.
of random stuff. So I hate.
Don't
looking
like
at
it?
them. No,
Yeah.
it's not my thing.
Yeah, that's dope. All right. So the other question. So we're done with that. I wanted to ask another question. As far as your store, I know you mentioned AZ Thread. Kind of that's where you worked a little bit. Do you have maybe a favorite store like right now besides your own, obviously? And I'm gonna put it out there too. Love to everybody that has a store. This is my favorite store
Oh, thank
in
you.
Arizona.
I appreciate that.
But do you have like a favorite store that you?
Yeah, I love all of them equally, I would say, but man, favorite. I love Old Habits.
Okay.
That's the homie.
That's far, right? That's
From here, it's an hour away.
yeah.
Where's it at?
It's in Gilbert. Like
Oh, okay, it's the
literally
east side.
Yeah.
Got it.
The Gilbert Goons.
That's wild. But yeah.
That's wild, bro.
He's up there.
You haven't
for
heard
sure.
about that?
Yeah.
On the news? They're
Nah,
the
bro, I heard about it silly, bro. But anyways,
Yeah.
so he's out there in Gilbert. What's it called again?
Old habits.
Old Habits.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're cool with the owner and all that.
Yeah, I try to be cool with everyone. So that's my thing. Is a lot of people say that is if a new store opens, I'll be the first person at each grand opening.
Nice.
I gotta show love because pretty much all those dudes showed love when I was here.
That's cool.
So I have to return the favor. That's like one of the only times you'll see me out and about because I don't ever leave Goodyear.
Yeah.
Really, that's not a flex.
Yeah, because
but
you live here. You know this is where you grew up, so it makes sense. Yeah.
I don't ever leave this area. But if a store is opening, I'll be there for sure. I'll be your
That's
first
dope.
customer.
Damn.
Oh.
That's super dope, bro. That you even
does do
do
that.
that, man. That's like super
I
supportive.
have to because they all did for me.
Is there like a trend that's going on right now that you like maybe don't like,
A trend that I don't like.
or even a trend that you do like right now? Because in this world with fashion, it's just up and down. There's always a new trend coming every week with these, especially with these kids, man.
I see a trend that's ending that I'm glad it's ending is when they would cut the shirts.
Okay, the crop.
I say that as I'm wearing a shirt
Yeah.
that's cut up. But I hate when because they're starting to sell it now to me is the shirts that are cut like right here.
Little crop tops.
Yeah, that was a huge thing. Is everyone was like, you got to crop your shirts and wear your
Yeah.
pants super high. It'll make you look taller. And now there's just a bunch of shit that's like all cut up and you can't sell it. And it's
Fuck.
my least favorite thing to look at. Trend that I do like, it's crazy, but like those shirts, like those Affliction shirts, because you're over there, like kids are on that stuff. Like stuff we were wearing when we were like little.
Dude, we know about this. So
That shit smacks. Like, if I put an Affliction shirt out, I'm getting a quick 30, like the quickest 30.
Yeah,
Frankie's
dude.
laughing because I had one of those type shirts. It wasn't Affliction, but Affliction type.
Yeah.
And I brought it to him when I would sell him like bulk in his
Yeah.
store. And I brought one of those. Usually he just like sports, Harley.
Yeah,
but I
just
brought
easy
one
stuff.
just to try it
Easy
out
stuff.
because
Yeah.
he's at
Rookie.
the mall.
No, that's all I sell in here.
So-
You're
so-
smart.
Yeah, when he was at the mall, so I was like, he's at the mall, there's kids, let me throw in one of these. And he didn't want to buy it. He's like, bro, what am I going to do? It had like skulls and stuff. I was like, bro.
fucking stupid, bro. I was like, dude.
Crazy.
I said, you know what? What'd you say?
I told him, bro,
Take it,
I'm
yeah.
going to sell you this shirt and I guarantee it sells, bro.
Yeah.
He texts me like the next day, like, hey, bro, that shirt's gone.
Fucking shirt sold, bro.
It's wild how, like, the cycles change to where, like, stuff that we wore when we were little, like, that's what people want. Like those Famous shirts.
Famous Stars and Strap.
Yeah, bro, that's insane.
Really?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cat's
people
coming
buy that.
back.
Yeah, it's coming back.
What the?
And that's why I guess that brings me to one of my other questions that I get a lot is do you think this is a trend? You think
Oh,
this will end?
no, never.
Like
So,
there's always something new.
I was watching a movie the other day, and I forgot what movie it was. I think it was Cruella de Vil, like the live action one.
Yeah.
And in the movie, there's a vintage store. I think that one's based in like the 40s. So the vintage store was selling 1920s clothes. Because the trend always comes back around, and people always feel nostalgic to things they can't have anymore.
Well, look at how long Buffalo's been around for.
Exactly.
Like, how long has it been around? It's been around for a long time.
I went to Buffalo when I was a little kid. Like, I remember going in there and buying fitted hats
Right.
because they would have crazy ones in there.
Yeah, because people always ask me that, like, especially not in a mean way, but family members will ask
Yeah,
me,
like-
like, "Oh, do you think you'll have to do a new business? Like, will this die out?" And I'm like, "Will you ever not need a shirt? Like, because I
Yeah,
don't just sell."
It's clothing, so at the end of the
Yeah.
day, yeah, it's going to be
And
very...
then when you have, like you said, the nostalgia, when you have something that triggers that nostalgia in a person,
Mm-hmm.
they want it. Even if I've had people that don't like vintage, but like a family member or something, and I have an NSYNC shirt, and they're like, "Oh my god, I need that NSYNC shirt because
By
I
the way,
went
I
to
need
the
one.
concert."
I need one, bro.
Do
For my,
you
for
really?
my girl, man. I told
Oh,
you.
you did tell me that.
Hey, man. You got any here?
in sync. Actually, I might. We'll look at the end.
Okay,
I think I
yeah.
have one.
Okay.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, that same thing. So we get a lot of people that come in here now that are looking for the nostalgia, but not necessarily that the clothing is used.
Yeah.
And that's another pivot. We started making our own shirts.
Yeah,
so we
I saw
took,
that.
Yeah, we took like a vintage design and modernized it.
Yeah.
So you still get that same nostalgia, like, oh, I remember that when I was little, but we just changed the character.
We
'Cause
got it.
they don't want an old shirt. Some people don't want an old
Yeah,
shirt.
like sometimes we get dads that come in and they're like, "Man, this stuff is cool. I remember when I was little, but I'm not trying to wear like a used shirt." So then we got those.
You're
We
like,
got
here you go.
Yeah,
Bam.
we got
Yeah.
you. That was a need that we needed to fill for sure.
dope.
Yeah. Always pivoting. I feel like that's like
Got to be always pivoting.
Or not even. I think the pivot. I see them, but I also see you just like It's kind of like a Power Ranger. Like you're like morphing. Like you're still keeping your core,
Yeah.
but you're like adding on, kind of, and like morphing that into like I don't know, just whatever's kind of going on. It's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. That takes a lot of time because when I was younger, I didn't have a ton of money. Like this was working, but I wasn't making. Actually, that's a lie. The very first year we were open, it was COVID, so I didn't understand how the taxes worked. So that first year, I didn't pay taxes. Dude, I was like, I'm gonna be a fucking millionaire off this shit. And then my mom was like, yeah, but your taxes are due in March, so go see an accountant. I think I spent on the accountant because every month we pay sales tax in here, and I didn't know how that worked. So I ended up paying like 80 or 90,000 in like one day in back taxes and fees and stuff. And yeah. So anyway, I came back down to reality, and I was like, yeah, we gotta just keep growing, but we couldn't take risks because we didn't have a lot of money. And as it gets more like the business grows and grows, you can take more risks. Because if you fail, we're like, okay, we tried. Like when we put those shirts out, I think we invested probably like 4,000 or 5,000 into it.
Devin Booker.
And I was like, man, like if this doesn't work out, we only lost $5,000. Like we'll be all right. We'll still be afloat. Back then, I couldn't do stuff like that, but it ended up working out great. And yeah, it was just a risk that I was willing to fail on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for anybody
Calculated
that doesn't
risk.
know, yeah, calculated. Anybody that doesn't know, he dropped. There's a really popular sports brand from the '90s, which is Salem Sportswear, and they dropped a lot of. They call them character tees, where they would have your favorite player like in motion, like
hand drawn,
hand
like cartoon
drawn,
kind
like,
of style.
Yeah, like crossing somebody over, dunk, something like dope. In
layup.
motion.
Yeah.
So what Isaiah and Ivory House did is took Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns and did like their own spin on that type of character tee. And you said it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah,
I
those
was really
are dope.
worried. Yeah.
So how long you were telling me? So this is going to be your 4th year at the store?
Yeah. So February. It's a leap year again. So February 29th is our 4-year anniversary.
Oh, so next month?
Yeah, next month is our 4-year.
Oh, yeah,
wow.
dude.
Are you
What
guys doing something dope?
Yeah. What are you guys doing for that?
Nothing crazy, probably.
No, you're going to do something. As it gets closer, I guarantee you and Noah are going to cook something
Yeah,
up.
no, I'm sure we'll cook something
Yeah.
up. Like, we always end up doing something, like, off the wall wild. But
Yeah, you
as of
guys
right
do.
now, there's no plan.
No plan.
Got it.
So in that 4 years, you told me that, and congratulations, you recently bought a house, right?
I'm in the process. So,
Okay, so
we
you-
close on the 30th.
Of this month.
Yes.
Okay, dope.
Yeah.
Were you trying to do that from the beginning, or like?
The dream was always, to own a home.
Okay.
But it's as a small business, like, I don't have like a W-2 or anything, so it's really hard for me to qualify to show that like I can make consistent money. And with the store, you have to be showing profit for 3 years. In that first year, we didn't make any money. And that's kind of how the business aspect works is when you start, you have 3 years technically like on your taxes to where you can keep losing money, but the business stays afloat. After that 3rd year, you should be climbing. We started climbing after that first year, but it wasn't enough for me to qualify to buy anything. This was the first year where I got my tax returns, and they're like, all right, cool, like you have some money to use.
Damn.
So it took a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, you plan it out. It sounds like it's like okay, like here's where we're at. Like here's what I need to kind of get to, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And we just been doing what we can. Like we were renting a house for a little bit, and then eventually I was like, all right, cool. Like we're just wasting money. Let's try to do something else. Let's see if I qualify.
yeah,
And then eventually it took off to where I could do it.
nice.
Wow.
That's dope, bro.
That's kind of crazy. So it's it's you and your wife now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and my
okay.
wife.
How long were you guys together before you guys got married?
We've been together 6 years, and we've been married 1. And December was our 1-year anniversary. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's dope. Congratulations.
and she's like entrepreneur too. She does.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. So it's like dope. When I say it's hard, like it's hard for us to do stuff. Like to get health insurance is like $800 a month because we don't have like a job that matches it or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or pays for some
Neither
of it.
of you do.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's tough stuff. But she does like skincare, or like if there's a wedding, she does the makeup for the wedding. That's her thing. So
wow.
How's her business doing?
great.
Good.
Yeah.
Both of you guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What the damn? So you guys are both not showing income, like, because you guys
Like
don't
a
have
traditional
regular,
income, yeah.
like regular W-2s.
Yeah, like so for me, like when I got a new car, I was sitting there for like 3 hours and I had to show them like bank statements and previous tax returns.
Yeah.
Like when buying a car should be super easy, it's
Yeah.
a million extra steps as a small business person.
Because they don't trust it.
Yeah, because they're like, well, at any time, like let's say I have like 5 or 6 really bad months in here, like how are you gonna make your payment on anything?
That's true.
Oh wow.
How does that married life work when you guys are both entrepreneurs? Like,
It's really, there's some aspects that are great. So the store's closed on Monday. She cancels her books on Monday.
okay,
So we have the entire day together.
on Mondays.
Yes. But then like today, we kind of, I mean, we didn't really fight, but we were just trying to figure out, it's really hard to manage it because she doesn't have a set schedule. Whoever books with her. So today
Yeah.
she's booked all day. She was like, hey, can you stay a little bit? But I was doing this pod with you guys, so I was like, I got to leave too, and I'm going to be gone all day.
Yeah.
So then it's just tough trying to manage that since there's not really a set schedule on anything.
Yeah. But you guys make it work, huh?
Yeah, we make it work.
Yeah.
And it took a long time to make it work. That goes back to the original thing where I said I'm not here, so I'm not here at all. Back in the day, we'd be laying in bed together right before bed, and someone hits me up like, yo, can I buy this? And it'd be like 11 o'clock at night. She's sitting there talking to me, and I'm over here answering them back. Because to me, at the time, I was like, we could really use the extra $40, whatever.
Yeah.
And if I don't respond now, they're gonna find it somewhere else and just buy it.
Every dollar counted. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it took me a really long time to get away from that. When I'm with her or when I'm with my family, the store you're not getting an answer back on the store.
Yeah.
And I think you're in a really like privileged place too, because she's an entrepreneur, so she understands. There's a lot of people that have a wife that works a 9 to 5, so
Yeah.
she's like, why aren't you just off on weekends? You know,
Yeah.
or like, you know, yours kind of understands, but it does, like you said, there's pros and cons, because
Yeah.
the con is you guys are both trying to make the
Nonstop,
money,
yeah.
nonstop.
Mhm.
Do you guys like ever run into times where you guys have to really sit down and like figure out your schedule? Is that all the time?
That's
like,
all the time.
all
That's
the
what we do
time?
on Mondays is we try to schedule it out so that way, because our dogs are puppies, so they're really bad still. They just get into stuff. So we try to schedule our day to where when I'm getting off, she's either still in her services or she's wrapping them up. So that way when I get home, I could let them out, or I start later here. So that way if she works throughout the day, I could make sure that I'm with them. And then we want to have kids starting next year, so we're trying to get it down with the dog, so that way once
Yeah.
we have a kid, it'll be good to go.
Yeah, a little bit easier.
But I'll bring the kid in here for sure. I'll be
Oh,
doing
wow.
buyouts with the baby on a little front carrier.
That's fire. That's what's dope about having your own business.
Yeah. For
Oh
sure.
yeah, bro, it's crazy. I'd be doing the wildest stuff in here. And I'm like, if I had a real job, like they would have kicked my ass out already.
He's like,
Yeah.
I can see the TikToks with the baby already.
No, I have a little one too, and I would take her to the store. People loved her, bro.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
for
she was
sure.
like one. She was just learning, how to walk and all that stuff, and she'd be around, and she would just be like,
The
You know,
mascot.
yeah, it was great, dude.
Yeah.
I loved it, bro. Like it was good. I mean, at times, because then there was times where she was over there just like pulling stuff off, and I'm like, girl, but
Yeah.
that's what you could.
That's how you make it work.
Yeah, that's how you make
How
it work.
much stuff do you have saved up?
Like
for-
baby clothes.
Yeah.
Nothing.
None? Because I know a lot of
Nah.
people that have like shout out to Oscar.
Yeah.
Has so much of it. I always try to buy stuff from him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm saving it for my kid." I'm like, "Bro, you don't have a kid."
I'll save
Yeah.
it for my kid someday.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, no,
you don't
I
have
can't.
nothing?
I'm like an anti-hoarder, so I've always been like very proud that I could do that
Mm.
because it's very easy when people come in to sell. Like, let's say you bring in 50 things. Obviously I bought it because I like it and I could see myself wearing it. So it's hard for me to be like, all right, I'm just gonna not keep this.
Yeah.
So yeah, when the time comes, I'll put a little post out. It's like, yo, I'm buying baby clothes.
Oh, I'm sure you'll get a ton of it. Yeah, at that
Oh,
point.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was the same way. But when people would bring stuff in, I'd be like, "Oh man, I need this piece for myself." But then I would find myself just putting a hanger on it and putting it on the rack, and then it would be sold. And I was like, "I guess it wasn't meant for me to keep, or
Yeah.
whatever it is." Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this was dope, man. Did you have any other questions?
No, man. I think again, like, thank you so much. Like, you definitely gave us a lot of insight. It's really cool to hear your story, bro. Like, that's
no.
super inspirational as well. But yeah. I think you always kind of hit them with that ending question, right?
Yeah. So on this podcast, obviously we're the Beyond the Brand podcast. So we go a little bit beyond, and we like to just ask, why do you do what you do? Like, is it for fame? Do you want to be the biggest store in Arizona? Do you want to what, or is it something else?
It used to be for the fame kind of, I wanted to be the best. My business did the best when I stopped competing with everyone.
Oof.
That was the hardest revelation to me, was once I stopped trying to be I need to be better than them and them and them. And I just did what I did, and I got really good at it, and I made a good community. Then I started really succeeding. So I do it now to empower people that are like me and see okay, he did it. They all did it together, and they built up the other people around them. I've seen vendors that vended with us once, and they ended up growing and growing and growing. There's one girl that she was vending with us for a while. She just opened her own store in Tucson. So
that's dope.
It's crazy to see the growth, and that I, in some way, help promote that.
You're a part of it.
Yeah,
you're a part of it for sure. Yeah,
I was a stepping stone for someone to be great. That's why I do it.
Wow,
that's dope, bro.
Damn.
Clip it. That's a good one right there, bro.
That was amazing.
We definitely got to clip that one.
Yeah, I love. It seems like on this bro, we're picking the right guests, because every time we ask this question, it's mostly selfless. No one's I want to be famous. I want the most money. It's always I want to put others in position too.
When you do it for to be the best and to do it for fame, you can never achieve that, because you'll always see someone doing it better than you. And where does it stop? I mean, when I used to do it, I would see stores that were quadruple my size, and I'm like, okay, I got to be like that.
Right.
And then you go past that, and there's dudes that have stores that are they own the whole plaza. And how do you compete with that? You know what I mean? So it just keeps growing, and your expectations get bigger and bigger, and you could never meet them.
You know what's dope, dude? Is I think we're on the same page on this as well. Is that when I had my store, and I met Angelo, we were I told him if you ever want to pop up here, do it, bro. I don't. And he's like, how much? I was like, nothing. Just come through. You know, I really had zero intentions of making money or anything like that. So he came through, and we had a great day together. I was selling stuff, he was selling stuff, and it was just a good vibe. Yeah. You know, and that's really what I was always looking for. And that's kind of how we kicked off our friendship. But it sounds like you have that same kind of mentality where it's just yo, if I could just help anyway, because you're already getting yours, you've already built your,
sure,
it's not hey, I need to take advantage of someone that's small, just kind of that's doing their green thing, grinding or whatever it is, or someone that's just starting out, or someone that's growing their business to get them to the level that maybe that you want to be at, or that you're at, or even higher. And so I think that's pretty dope. He's basically doing the same thing.
And I've firsthand have witnessed that. Isaiah's always the one, like he said, he's always the one to pop up if a new store comes up. He's not hey,
competition.
Talking behind the scenes, they didn't have this, they didn't have that. It's always Isaiah was there first, or there's a new event. He throws events, so you would think maybe he doesn't want to, be at a different event, but no, he's always at events. He's come to events that I've done where they're a one-off, and he shows up. He's I'm going to be there first,
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of power in that, and that's what we're trying to show on this podcast is that behind all the negative stuff and all the weirdo stuff that's going on, there's a lot of dope people in Arizona that are coming together, and we're going to be able to go further together.
That community is so important, bro.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's why I brought that up in the very beginning, too, is because, we can't, if we grow together as a community, we do more.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you're showing that. So.
And people ask that a lot. They're do you ever get mad that there's new stuff happening? I mean, you see it firsthand. There's markets that happen every day. There's markets that run on the same day as me. And at first, it used to get to me. I'm man,
why'd they pick that day?
Yeah, why are you doing it on my weekend? But now that I look at it, there could be a kid that shows up and buys something from you at the Saturday market, and you're yo, I'll be back over on this side next Friday. That kid starts coming to me, and then he gets into it. And then that turns into a whole thing where he starts finding stuff, selling it to my store.
Yep.
So where you see competition, you should really see
opportunity
for growth. Yeah. It just makes everything better. It doesn't matter if they go shop at a store downtown. If the kid gets into it, he'll eventually make his way here.
Yeah.
And then that just created a whole new clientele that would have not been born had we been the stores downtown are like, oh, this is the only vintage store. Like, the dudes down there tell them to come over here. I tell the dudes over here, go over there.
Yeah.
So,
quick question before we wrap up: what made you pick Ivory House, the name?
I'm gonna be so honest. When I first made it, it had no meaning. Like, I made it sitting down one time. I was like, that sounds dope.
You like the way it sounded, yeah.
Yeah, I just like the way it sounded. And then as it grew into this, like, I guess Ivory as like a whole is like kind of unique and rare. And then this is a home for unique and rare items.
Dope.
Yeah.
So it ended up working out for you.
Yeah, it ended up working out. Like, I guess we kind of made it work. But yeah, everything in here is one of one. You're not going to see the same thing ever in here.
That's funny. You should just throw away the beginning. Just be like, everything's one of one.
Oh, no, I say that now.
Oh, you say
I'm
that?
telling y'all straight up.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
I made it, I was sitting there. I was like, that sounds pretty sick.
Yeah. No, I when I first heard it too, I was like, "That's a dope name, bro. It sounds, I don't know, it just sounds sick, unique.
Yeah, it's unique.
It's not because I kind of run into that issue because I have vintage in my name.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like you can do anything with Ivory House. Like,
Right.
you can literally, like you
Yeah.
were before you started this, you can make a brand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just sell shirts with
Ivory
the
House,
brand. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like if you, I mean, not saying it's bad, but a lot of people put like vintage or .vtg in their name.
Yeah.
Kind of limits you on what you could do.
Sure.
Like, we're Ivory House, so we're not just vintage. Like, we do our shirts and we do events and we do a ton of other things. And if we do anything else, it all falls under that
Ivory.
same brand. Yeah.
I love it, dude. It's a dope name.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Yeah, this was amazing.
Bro,
Episode
sick
12.
ass podcast, fool. Just kidding. sick ass podcast.
All right. Well, that's it for episode 12. We out.
We out, man. Peace.
Peace.